Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. All right, y'all. We're gonna talk a little boxing, right? So y'all know what I gotta say. Not in a rush to get concussed. And I'm gonna say it 2 times this time because last time I forgot. You're not in a rush to get concussed. And you got to know that with boxing. Sometimes people are saying, "Hey, boxers are exciting, or boxers are bored. Let's let a boxer get hit. Let's be in a slugfest." Well, to those kind of people, are you going to visit him in the hospital when they're paralyzed or when they're in a coma? So you're not in a rush to get concussed. That's not to be hit, ladies and gentlemen. So that's first. Now we're going to talk about if someone would ask a boxing insider, hey, what's the biggest fight in boxing that can be made in terms of what's the most lucrative fight? And a boxing insider or hardcore fans would tell you that would be in the middleweight division. Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin. That would be the biggest fight in terms of generating money, pay-per-view buys, and the like. Those are what's important when you want to really make a whole lot of money. Now, that would be the biggest fight for a hardcore boxing fan. For me personally, not really. There's a lot of fights that I would like to see instead of that fight, but I understand why that's a huge fight, right? So they have both a huge following. Canelo Alvarez's following is ridiculously huge. He comes from Mexico. The Mexican fans are really behind this man, right? So he has a huge following. Gennady Golovkin, he brings the knockout power. He's knocked out, I'm not sure, I haven't done the research before, just from things I know from the top of the head. So let's see, I'm sure he's knocked out the last 25 or more opponents. So he has the second highest knockout ratio in boxing, only behind Deontay Wilder. So he's knocking out pretty much everybody he's fighting. Now, we'll get into why I think they better fight right now. They better fight now. If they fight anytime later, they want to fight in September of 2017, that would be okay. But they better get it on as soon as possible. They seem to be wanting to follow the blueprint of the Floyd Mayweather Manny Pacquiao fight, which generated the most money by far in history. Even a casual fan seemed to have got that memo. Everyone knows that that made a lot of money. But that fight took years to make, but I don't think it was on purpose. That fight was offered to one of the fighters. We're not going to get into it for 40 million. 40 million. And that fight didn't happen because one of the fighters did not want to take drug testing. So you do with your common sense, why wouldn't you want to do drug testing? At that time, it wasn't normal to be drug tested, but one of the fighters wanted the other one to go to drug testing because it was a lot on the line. It didn't happen, and it didn't happen for a few other reasons after that. That fight wasn't like they seem to say in the boxing community. They didn't marinate that fight on purpose, right? It just happened that way. They seem to want to marinate this fight between Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin, but I think it's not going to work out that way. I think they better get it on now while they're both hot. And let me start with, for example, we'll start with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, I would say between the two of these guys, Canelo Alvarez has the better resume. He's only like 25 or 26 years old. He's a pretty young cat, right? But he's already fought some real good opposition. He's fought Floyd Mayweather, right, the best. But he lost that fight. He's fought a guy named Austin Trout, which was a controversial fight. Laura, which is more controversial, but he was in the ring with these guys. And a few other guys, Kirkland. He has some pretty good guys on his resume to be 25, 26 years old, right? So, uh, he doesn't really need to fight with Golovkin, but I would say if you want to make the most money, you better try to go on and get it on now. The reason being is because Canelo fights in the junior middleweight division, the 154 pounds, the American pound division, and the middleweight is the 160, which that's where he would be fighting Golovkin at in the middleweight division. Um, if if Canelo, for example, waits until September, then you're going to be interested in, well, who are you going to fight? Because people, The junior middleweight division has a few monsters in it, right? You're talking about they have two brothers. It's kind of similar to the Klitschko's. They're twins, and they're called Jamal and Jamel Charlo, right? They both have belts. Then you have Erislandy Lara, who has a belt, and that was a very controversial fight against Canelo Alvarez. They gave that fight to Alvarez, but it wasn't like that. You know, if you would have watched that fight, what was it, a draw? But definitely, um, Erislandy Lara has skills, and Canelo Alvarez knows it. So he should rematch this guy, but he probably won't get as much money as Canelo, as Gennady Golovkin. So the point being is, you, who are you going to fight until September? People have their eyes on your next opponent. So you might as well get it on with Golovkin because you're going to get the most money. And here's another thing. After that fight, you can say you moved up in weight, like Kell Brook did against Golovkin. You can always say I moved up in weight. So if you lost, you would still be in the mix. But who are you going to fight until then? You're not going to fight one of the tops, and we don't even want to mention the name Demetrius Andrade, or some pronounce it Andrada, but Andrade. This is a southpaw monster, and he's been calling out Canelo Alvarez for about 2 years now, right? So I don't see anywhere for Canelo to go until September, because if he fights another guy like Liam Smith, people are going to start becoming outraged. I think even at this point, the Mexican fans might even say, "Come on, homie, you know, it's time to step it up. No, hombre, it's time to step it up." You know, so there is the problem that I see with Canelo Alvarez, and the same with Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin, who are you going to fight until September, right? Until September, because so far the resume is not what it should be for a person that they are putting in the top three pound for pound. Doesn't matter who you ask in the Boxing Insiders, with the Boxing Insiders hardcore fans, Ring Magazine, ESPN, whatever, they all have pound for pound lists. And Gennady Golovkin is going to be 1, 2, or 3. So to be 1, 2, or 3, you're going to probably have to step up your level of opposition. Now, he's trying to fight a very dangerous fighter in the middleweight division, Danny Jacobs. Let's hope that fight happens so we can raise the profile of both of these guys before September. Because if not, the profile is going to go down. I think that Gennady Golovkin, he's going to have to fight Danny Jacobs or maybe a Chris Eubank Jr. if he's going to stay in middleweight division. Somebody of that niveau, of that level, to keep that profile where it is, or even move it up a notch. So that fight will be huge. Because if you ask me, I think if both of them step up their level of competition, they probably one of them going to lose. And if someone loses before September, the value of that fight, you know, goes down. It's pretty much over in terms of a mega fight. So therefore, I would suggest Canelo's healing from his injuries. I would suggest one tune-up for each, and then you should probably get it on, because it's not a guarantee that you guys are going to stay undefeated, and it's not a guarantee that these fans are going to continue to watch you guys fight against opposition that shouldn't even be in the ring with you, both of you. And the Canelo has more of a pass because, like I said, he's younger, like 10 years younger, and has fought better opposition, right? Now, to Gennady Golovkin defense, I'm knocking everybody out. Okay? I'm dominating my division and I'm dominating my opponents. It's just they don't have that big of a name, right? But the only issue here is that he's in the top three pound for pound. And Deontay Wilder, for example, isn't, who is doing almost exactly the same thing in the heavyweight division, which is the glamour division, and with no amateur background, or very little, a limited amateur background, which is a bigger story if you would ask me. And he's nowhere to be found in the top 10. So therefore, you're going to have people, the boxing insiders, right, hardcore fans, they're going to be complaining, and rightfully so. So these guys need to step it up now, fight one more fight, and get it on now before things pass. It's not going to be hot forever, guys. So step up your opposition right now and get that fight on right now if you want it to be huge. It's not going to be huge if we keep marinating. If you don't fight in September 2017, it's going to be past this date. expiration date is going to be, there you go, it's gone, right? So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys about both of these guys. Let me see if I missed something. Oh, here's another point. Pay-per-view, right? Pay-per-view is where you generate most of this money because people pay to watch these fights. Now, this is going to be extinct soon if people are not fighting high level opposition. That's another issue. So if you guys want people to pay pay-per-view for that fight, then you're gonna have to be hot, still undefeated, or like from Alvarez's point of view, he's only lost to Floyd Mayweather, and who hasn't. So he's basically undefeated in the eyes of many. So you guys better hurry up and get that pay-per-view before it's extinct, because there's a lot of good fights on free TV, right? So think about that. Both of you guys, Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin, as soon as possible. Let's stop waiting, fellas. All right, Doma Sports Talk Worldwide, and we out.